you for joining me for one of my newest and updated sessions of Street Fighter V Thrid Strike. Character focus on how to make a tournament Elena ready. I wanted to say thank you for all of you who have joined me in my previous Elena strategy for Thrid Strike, and also touch briefly on new generation and second impact versions of her. I've been requested by many to actually sit down and redo another strategy where they can really see what was going on with her, because the last strategy that I did was just me in front of a camera, but I didn't show any footage. Now this time, this is the updated version that everybody's been waiting for, fans of the Full Song Elizabeth Cookye Show. Thank you for joining in to Cookye Strategies as we explore the world of female fighters in the fighting game universe. A retouch edition of Elena in Thrid Strike. So, as we know right now, of course, this is all about Elena. I'm just going to get right into it. But at the end of this strategy program, we're going to go into the otaku fandom side, the Japanese anime side of Elena. But the first part here is just going to focus on her as a tournament character and how to make her tournament ready. So, of course, I moved over to Elena. I like to pick the light blue color. And I'm going to Super Art number 2, which is Brave Dance. So we're going to explore Brave Dance first. And I'm going to use Hugo as a prop for the sparring match, mainly because he's the biggest, can take the most damage, and can take all of Elena's combos at the moment. We'll touch briefly on what combos do work on certain people, and what combos don't. So, let's see, we're in training mode. As you can see, I'm using the Japanese PlayStation 2 version of Thrid Strike, mainly because it's the most accurate rendition of the arcade port, a lot better than the online, the new online edition for PS3, which the parry timing is totally off, as well as the Dreamcast version. Dreamcast parry timing kind of matches up with online edition, but for those who still play arcade like me, Japanese style and or American arcade renditions of it, PS2 is the most accurate one of it. So as you saw, I went to training mode. I put my guards on infinity, and let's go and begin the strategy. So, as we all know, she's doing capoeira. Here are some of her jumping normals, jumping in normals. These are some of her best assets, her attacks that she has during gameplay. This has been a new generation second impact and also carried over into Thrid Strike. Jumping heavy kick. When done right, as you see, registers 2 hits, jumping heavy kick, jumping heavy kick. Another one, which was introduced in second impact only and also carried over into Thrid Strike, is her jumping medium punch into jumping heavy punch. I repeat, jumping medium punch into jumping heavy punch. When done right, you get 2 hits as well. This really serves very well as an anti-air for a lot of offensive characters. You can jump in, up kick, following by that heavy punch as well. Another jumping in 2-in-1 normal, jumping in for Elena, that was also just a regular jump in for her and new generation, also second impact and also carried over into Thrid Strike, is her jumping light punch into medium kick. Jumping light punch into medium kick. As you can see, when done properly, will register 2 hits. So now let's touch briefly over some of her ground play combos before we get into some real strategy. So when I walk closer up to Hugo, I'm going to throw him, bring him back to the middle of the screen so you can really get a glimpse of what's going on. So we have standing medium kick into heavy punch. Now what's happening here is for this to work, you have to hit the medium kick followed by down and heavy punch. And that registers as 2 hits. Also, another unacknowledged move that most people forget that also registers at 2 hits. This is only for Thrid Strike, does not work in New Generation or Second Impact. It's her standing heavy punch into standing heavy kick. I repeat, standing heavy punch into standing heavy kick. Registers as 2 hits. This is a standalone 2-hitter, does not connect into any other combos. But any of her jump-in 2-in-1 normals will also connect into the standing medium kick into standing heavy kick punch. So let's try to put all of this together. And you can get any variation of it. As you can see. There you go. As we get 2 hits, 4, 5. When timed correctly, any of the 4, that will register as 4 hits no matter which set of 2-in-1 normal jump-ins that you use. Followed up by, with that. As you can see. Back into throw. So, when I use Elena in strategy for tournament play, one of her greatest assets is her standing light kick. Standing light kick really leads into a bunch of setups, a bunch of rush down attacks where you can really follow up into what I'm doing right now. The standing light kick can create some of the best mix-ups that you can ever create. As you can see what I'm doing, followed by throw. When you're facing somebody, especially Ken and Ryu, which I love fighting them, which are pretty much on the offensive side, you really want to have some of the best parrying ability with Elena. Better parry ability with Elena can lead to some of the best opening and strategies with her. Because that's what you really want to do. You really want to monopolize on mistakes, your opponent's mistakes. When they miss shoryukens, when they miss hadoukens, when you can parry that, when you can jump in and parry a shoryuken, when you can jump in and parry a normal by Hugo, leading to that, into throw, into that, into mullet smash. So exploring some of her specials real quick, and we'll go back into some more strategies, rush down strategies with Elena. Rhino horn. Rhino horn, such a good asset. Best used when used by EX version. EX version really puts pressure. Because when EX version is blocked, it gives them block stun to the character. Any character leads into a throw, into overhead kick. That's also another strategy. When you're dealing with a tough opponent and you're trying to get in and you want to make some type of advances with Elena, EX mullet smash, EX mullet smash, EX mullet smash, falls forward into overhead kick. That works very well to apply pressure. You can apply this strategy many times over going into that. So, breaking it down, applying the pressure of light mullet smash into EX mullet smash, crouching medium punch into spin sight. EX spin sight, EX rhino horn, EX lynx tail, or EX spinning blade. Some stuff with her that really works that everyone already knows already, the crouching medium. Her crouching medium will be the key to connecting break dance. It will also be the connecting link into EX spin sight into standing rhino horn, which also can count as a reset when done properly. Bringing Hugo over to the screen a little bit more. Let's say you want to do some resets in the corner. Can lead also into that. So one of her big advantages is her ability to link all 3 of her EXs, where you buffer all 3 of them. If done properly, you can actually reset one of them after doing EX Rhino Horn after EX Spin Sight. Here's an example of that. This standing light punch is a reset. You can also reset after EX Rhino Horn with standing medium kick, which can catch a lot of people off guard. Look at this strategy right here. When done properly after the reset, you can get something like this, instead of following up with EX Spinning Lathe. As you can get the point. Doing crouching medium punch into EX Spin Sight into EX Rhino Horn, reset with standing light punch. Before they hit the ground, you want to follow up with EX Mullet Smash. And then you would have that one strategy right there that also, in certain situations, can work. Elena's gifted with many kinds of rush downs. What I usually do is I rely on my parry ability with her, along with the ability to rush down, light, forward medium punch, standing medium punch. This standing medium punch right here also works as a wonderful anti-air for jump-ins when timed correctly. Against expert players, they know that this stands for a two-hit parry, and so if it's parried correctly, can leave Elena really open. Sometimes you can mix that up by canceling the standing medium punch into spinning lathe or EX spinning lathe. Once more. And also cancel into Mullet Smash, or cancel into Brave Dance. If you don't want to waste meter all the time on finishing up with the normal EX spinning lathe, you can cancel that by doing light spinning lathe, and that will give them a knockoff, which will give you time to think of your next strategy. With Brave Dance, using Brave Dance is considered the most tournament valuable move that she has for expert gameplay. Most people will connect from the medium crouching punch into the super, though there are many other ways that you can do it as well. So what I did was stand a medium punch into EX spinning lathe, cancel into Brave Dance. This can also be canceled into Brave Dance as well, alone. Old school combo tip from New Generation and Second Impact. If you're lucky enough to catch standing Mullet Smash heavy or medium, that also connects into Brave Dance or Spinning Beat. That also serves for heavy damage. Keep in mind that Elena doesn't take too much damage, doesn't take damage very well, and when her moves are parried, they leave her very open, because all her moves take time for them to come out, with the exception for the light punch and the light kick. Medium kick is not so bad. The execution comes out easy and can keep those at bay. This also works as an excellent anti-air. When you want to mix up your anti-air attacks for aggressive players, you don't always want to spam that, but rather keep that in mind. And for those who jump in a lot, back up and forward medium punch. This works well as well. Into overhead kick. Dizzying your opponent can be very simple if you know what you're doing. With enough practice, dashing in with overhead medium kick. That is the most strongest move Elena has as a normal. This overhead medium, standing medium, overhead medium. So what you're using here is her strong kick. Standing strong kick. Standing strong kick, back strong kick, back strong kick, back strong kick. When done properly, can actually stop Shoryukens, can stop Shoryu Reppa supers, can stop many of the character supers. Can also stop Chun-Li's third super Tensei Ranka when done right. Can also stop Kikosho when done right, when timed properly. Standing back, back heavy kick, back heavy kick, back heavy kick. Just for flash, which really doesn't do much of anything but leaves you open, but if you can calculate your movements properly and you feel that Brave Dance will end it off, then why not do it? But then again, it's also a waste of super, so it's really a waste of time. Cornering people in the corner without spamming this always so much. For rush down, always use EX spinning, EX lynx tail, my mistake, EX lynx tail as a viable strategy. So alright, this concludes the majority of what I use as a tournament strategy with Elena, what I find most valuable, that has helped me in gameplay, what has led me to semifinals and more, small tournaments nonetheless, and more. Keep in mind, when you go to EVO, and when you go to all those big tournaments, it takes a lot of money to get there. We're talking about air travel, hotel, expenses, food. So not everybody's able to go to EVO and some of the bigger tournaments. But when you're trying to practice with her, use her for small tournaments first before you're ready to take her out on the big stage. There are more Elenas out there who have proven that she is tournament ready, tournament capable. Just not too many videos on her. As you hear me out on this video, you know, if you have any questions, comments, please do feel free to send me any questions, any remarks on this. I'm going to go through some stuff with her right now under Brave Dance, and then I'm going to go back and show some stuff under Spinning Beat. Oh God, Spinning Beat has some of the best super moves that you could connect with Elena. When you get to a point that you're ready to use her on a level that you feel confident in your parry ability. Keep in mind, great parry ability makes Elena shine. Really understand the matchups with Elena, especially against the Shotos. One thing about Street Fighter 3 is a lot of people are just so predictable. The Shotokons, it's the Shotokons that really make her bleed a lot. And if you get used to fighting the Shotokons like Akuma and Ryu and Ken and Hugo, Remy and other characters, and really practice the parry, especially the supers, then definitely you'll have an edge with her. This concludes some of the first parts of the Elena strategy. We're going to go more into her strategy with the parrying ability as well as some combos. Here's some combos right here. Buffering all 3 EXs. And so now I'm going to move over into the spinning beat version strategy of Elena. So what better way than to fight Chun-Li using spinning beat? Alright, spinning beat gives you 3 stocks, unlike brave dance, which only gives you 2 stocks. Spinning beat, if you miss it, will leave Elena open. And not only will it leave her open, will leave her open to not only special attacks, links, supers, all of that. But if your opponent has a super and they're an expert player, be ready to take some damage. As normal, Elena can work very similar to Chun-Li in that her crouching medium, which is her punch, not her kick, connects to spinning beat as well. Crouching light punch also connects into it. Crouching light kick also connects into it. Alright, so most people don't know this who don't play with Elena, but if you're learning and want to do something that most people have not seen, you can link 2 of her EXs and then cancel with spinning beat. I love doing this in the arcade, especially when you have enough power stock to do it. That's basically crouching medium punch into EX spin cipher. So there you have spin cipher. I'm going to break it down. So once again, crouching medium punch into EX spin cipher, and you get now followed by EX rhino horn. And you have that. Put it all together after EX rhino horn, and you have now here's a trick. If you time it right, you can reset not only in mid-screen but also in the corner, and then connect the spinning beat for double damage. Done mid-screen, and you'll get that. Also, one combo I failed to show is how you can actually not always connect your EXs in the corner if you don't want to save power stock. This also works. To throw. One more time. With the reset. Okay. And that concludes the majority of the strategies that I use with Elena. Not only with spinning beat, but also with breakdance. Once again, if you have any questions about parrying ability, timing, frames with her, I know there's a lot of stuff that I did not list because most of the strategies come on the fly after you've been playing a long time. This game I've been playing since New Generation came out in '97. So we're talking about over 13 years of gameplay, and some things that are very natural with me with Elena, and all three versions of the game only come during the heat of battle. And so when you're playing someone on an expert gameplay, you do certain things that you normally wouldn't mention in a strategy. So I encourage everyone who has any questions about my Elena strategy, how to make her tournament ready, the differences in the parry abilities between her and others, please do give me an email on this subject. I'd be more than happy to answer questions. I know it can be frustrating using her, especially against other characters that have projectiles. Since Elena doesn't have a projectile, she's relied on her ability to parry, and not only fast reflexes and punishment time. Keep note that that is something that you really want to work on in addition to your offensive and defensive strategy with Elena. So, one thing's first, we're going to put it together very simply. Know how to parry really well with her, have good offensive game, and be ready to have really good defensive game in addition to your offensive game, using the majority of her standing moves as anti-airs. And when done properly, not only can they stop incoming attacks, they can also stop supers. Alright, join me for the last portion of the Elena strategy regarding parries. Hi, and welcome back to the third part of the Thrid Strike Elena strategy. We're now entering the parry blocking training portion of Elena, where we're going to explore some of the best options when using her in tournaments. So, for this blocking training, I decided to pick Akuma only because Akuma is the ultimate of all three of the shotos, including, of course, Ken and Ryu. When using Akuma and using Elena as block strategy, this is something that you really want to take the time to practice. Because you will encounter many Akumas that will spam this a lot, not only during arcade play, online play, but tournament play. And being able to parry all of this that you see right here will give you a viable edge. Take the time to go into your online edition version of Thrid Strike, or PS2 version, or Dreamcast version, to really practice parrying everything that I'm doing with Akuma here, with Elena. It will serve you well for the upcoming battles ahead, because when you play and fight against Akuma, Kens, and Ryus, you're going to want to learn how to parry all variations of the Fireball, Shoryuken, Hadouken, Shoryurepa, Hurricane Kick, all their moves, which are primarily all the same, just the different degrees on the characters in which they pick that you may be fighting against. Especially Akuma. You want to practice learning how to parry all three of his supers, in addition to Ken, all three of his supers, and Ryu, all 10 of his supers. Take the time when you can. You want to spend at least an hour or two really looking at the parry timing of not only the standard Hadouken, the EX version of the Hadouken, and the super form of the Hadouken. This would stand for Ryu and Akuma only, since Ken doesn't have one. Ken is limited to his Shoryurepa and of course his Hurricane Kick Super that we all see in tournament Super Art number 2. And then you want to take this to the arcade. Since the arcade is the greatest translation of the game, learning how to do this in arcade really will help you a lot. Also learning how to red parry. If you can red parry, then that also will help you. Blocking, knowing how to block the first hit and then parry the rest of the series of hits could also help if you're not sure of how many hits a parry is, or how many parries does it take to counter someone else's move. Also take note, most tournament characters that play, or most tournament people that use Akuma will do something like this, which is one of the most cheapest moves to ever be seen in Street Fighter 3. I'll do it again. So while you're parrying, you'll either get thrown, or this one is a famous one right here. They'll trip you while you're parrying the EX or the super version of the Hadouken Super. Ryu is also known for this with his charging and non-charging Hadouken Super versions, in which while you're parrying it, you will be thrown a trip. So keep note of that. You want to know what to parry, what not to parry. I left this tutorial with Elena very short because the best way to show parry ability with Elena is just to have live footage of gameplay in the arcade on expert mode, so you can see not only how the arcade plays, but also how to play against expert people. One of my best moments playing with Elena is parrying all of Necro's Magnetic Storm, jumping in with Elena as a sacrifice because I knew that Necro was either going to try to attack me with a normal one of his anti-airs, or try to hit me with an anti-air and then cancel into Magnetic Storm. And being able to parry all of that is an enormous feat, especially with Elena since it's hard, and then basically counter at the end, punish with Brave Dance or Spinning Beat if you have the Super Juice to do it. Other than that, counter with a throw to end the match, if that's where it's leading to. So this concludes all of my Elena strategies, some of the best moments, what I usually use during battle and tournament play. Like I said before, if you had any questions, send me a comment, an email, anything. Like I said, some of the best moments just happen during gameplay, during tournament play. And because you get so used to playing with a particular character, you usually react without thinking because you already know what type of style, or have an idea of the style of the person that you're playing up against. Once you have played for over at least 10 years, a game is Street Fighter 3 that's been out that long.